Have you ever wondered if the food sitting in your kitchen right now could be the reason you don't wake up tomorrow morning? I know that sounds dramatic, maybe even frightening, but I want you to stay with me. Because for millions of people over 65, this isn't just theory, it's reality. You see, your body at night, especially after a certain age, doesn't function the same way it did at 30 or even 50. And while we often talk about exercise and medication and sleep, there's one thing hardly anyone talks about: the foods we eat just before bedtime. It might seem harmless: a slice of cheese, a few crackers, a sweet bowl of cereal, or even that small glass of wine to relax. But what if I told you that one of those exact foods is now known to trigger midnight heart attacks in seniors? What if I told you that researchers, cardiologists, and sleep scientists across the world have started raising the alarm that what you eat before bed could literally silently shut down your heart while you sleep? This is not about fear. This is about truth, about life-saving knowledge, and about the real story of Walter, 78 years old, healthy, active, never smoked, who passed away in his sleep because of a snack he thought was just fine. So tonight I want to walk you through 8 seemingly normal foods that are causing real danger to seniors after the sun goes down. And I promise you this: by the time we're done, you'll never look at bedtime snacks the same way again. Now breathe, because what you learn in the next few minutes could save your life or the life of someone you love. Ready? Let's begin. It often starts with something innocent: a quiet evening, a cup of tea, and just one small slice of cheese on a cracker. After all, how dangerous could it be? But here's what most people don't know. Processed cheese, especially the kind found in individually wrapped slices or pre-shredded blends, isn't just high in fat. It's also loaded with sodium and preservatives. And when eaten at night, those ingredients combine in a way that silently overwhelms your heart. You see, as we age, our blood vessels become less flexible, our kidneys work a little slower. Our body's ability to manage salt, fluid, and blood pressure at night begins to change. And when you add high-sodium foods like processed cheese into the mix right before bedtime, it can trigger dangerous fluid retention and raise your blood pressure just as your body is trying to rest. This is exactly what happened to Elizabeth, a retired school teacher, 67 years old, healthy by all accounts, but she kept waking up in the middle of the night, gasping for air. Her doctors couldn't find a clear reason until they asked about her evening routine. Every night before bed, she had a few crackers with cheese while watching TV. That small snack was causing fluid buildup in her lungs, making it harder for her heart to function properly during sleep. Once she stopped the habit, the nighttime episodes disappeared. Her blood pressure dropped, and for the first time in weeks, she slept through the night without fear. So ask yourself, is that salty little square really worth the risk? If you crave something savory before bed, try switching to a small portion of unsalted nuts or a single slice of fresh, low-sodium mozzarella. You'll still feel satisfied without putting pressure on your heart when it's most vulnerable. Sometimes the smallest change makes the biggest difference. Now, let's shift to something even more common, something that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. That innocent bowl of cereal you like to enjoy after dinner, or maybe just 1 or 2 cookies before brushing your teeth. But what happens inside your body when sugar hits your system just before bed? Here's what most people don't realize. After age 65, your body doesn't handle sugar the way it used to. The spikes are sharper, the crashes are deeper, and while you sleep, your heart becomes incredibly sensitive to those swings. Late-night sugar pushes your blood glucose sky high, but just a few hours later, usually around 2 or 3 a.m., your blood sugar can crash. And that crash sends your nervous system into overdrive. Your heart races, your blood pressure fluctuates. You might wake up sweating, disoriented, or with palpitations that feel like panic. It's not your age, it's not bad luck. It's sugar. Raymond, a 71-year-old retiree from Florida, found this out the hard way. For years, he enjoyed a small bowl of sweetened cereal before bed. It helped him feel relaxed, until he started waking up with tightness in his chest and anxiety that wouldn't let him sleep. His doctor fitted him with a continuous glucose monitor. The results were shocking. His blood sugar spiked to diabetic levels within an hour of his bedtime snack, then plummeted while he was in deep sleep, putting enormous strain on his heart, night after night. Once he replaced his cereal with a slice of apple and a teaspoon of almond butter, the symptoms vanished. No more scary awakenings, no more fear of sleep. The fix was so simple, but the risk was very real. So if you find yourself reaching for sweets in the evening, pause for a moment. Ask yourself what your heart will be dealing with in 3 hours when the rest of your body is trying to rest. A small change in habit could mean waking up tomorrow with peace instead of panic. Let's keep going, because the next food is one that has triggered actual fatal heart attacks in older adults. But what I'm about to say next might be the most important warning of all. It's not some exotic food you rarely eat. In fact, it's probably already in your fridge right now, quietly waiting to be part of your next evening snack. I'm talking about processed meats. The salami you slice for a late-night craving, the bacon that brings back warm memories, the hot dogs you still enjoy now and then, telling yourself it's just a little indulgence. But inside your body, those familiar flavors trigger something far more dangerous than you'd ever expect. You see, processed meats contain nitrates and preservatives, compounds that seem harmless on the label, but inside your body, they convert into nitrosamines. These substances are linked to inflammation, blood vessel damage, and a kind of quiet chaos in your cardiovascular system. And when do they strike the hardest? During sleep, when your body is meant to rest and heal. Instead, your heart is working overtime trying to calm a storm that never should have started in the first place. That's exactly what happened to Thomas. He was 78, still sharp, still mobile, still full of life. And every night, like clockwork, he'd sit down with a small plate of salami and crackers to watch the evening news. To him, it was a simple pleasure, but to his body, it was a ticking time bomb. One morning, he didn't wake up. The doctors found no prior symptoms, no visible decline, just a single fatal cardiac event. An autopsy later revealed elevated nitrate levels and inflammation in the heart. The cause? His regular evening habit. The processed meat he trusted had quietly damaged his heart, one bite at a time. His family was devastated not just by the loss, but by how easily it could have been prevented. And Thomas's story is not unique. Millions of seniors are unknowingly doing the same thing, feeding their hearts with hidden stress while they sleep. So if you're reaching for that snack tonight, pause. If your body is asking for something savory, give it something safe. A slice of plain baked chicken, a hard-boiled egg, even a few raw, unsalted almonds. These won't ignite your system the way processed meats will. And most importantly, they'll let your heart rest fully, because waking up tomorrow is a gift you deserve. And if you thought that one was surprising, wait until you hear what spicy food is really doing to your body while you sleep. It's not just about heartburn, it's something much more serious. You might think a little heat before bed adds flavor, maybe even comfort. But here's the truth: when your body lies down after a spicy dinner, it doesn't simply digest and move on, it reacts. Spicy food stimulates your digestive system in powerful ways that don't settle when you do. The capsaicin in chili peppers triggers acid production in your stomach. That's not a problem during the day, when you're upright, moving, letting gravity help you process it. But at night, once you lie down, acid starts to creep back upward. And that's where the danger begins. Some call it heartburn, but for seniors, it's often much more. The acid irritates the esophagus, compresses the chest, and in some cases, mimics the symptoms of a heart attack, a sharp pain, trouble breathing, dizziness, panic. But worse still, it can trigger actual cardiac episodes by stimulating the vagus nerve, which runs directly from your brain to your heart and stomach. In the quiet of night, this overstimulation confuses your body, increases your heart rate, and in rare cases, stops it altogether. Patricia, 68 years old, had just enjoyed her favorite meal, spicy tacos with jalapenos. She laughed with her husband, watched a little TV, and went to bed. 2 hours later, she woke up with intense chest pressure and shortness of breath. She thought she was dying. Her husband rushed her to the ER, where doctors confirmed it was a severe acid reflux episode, one that had dangerously elevated her heart rate and blood pressure. Her cardiologist told her plainly, "You were lucky this time. Next time, it might not pass." Since then, Patricia made one simple change. She gave her body peace after sunset. No chili, no hot sauce, no fire in the belly before bed. She still enjoys flavor, but now she uses herbs, basil, oregano, turmeric, ingredients that soothe, not inflame. So before you drizzle that sriracha or sprinkle those red pepper flakes, ask yourself, do you want fire on your tongue or peace in your chest? Because every small decision adds up, and sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that save your life. Now let's talk about something many seniors enjoy before bed, but rarely think twice about. That glass of wine to help unwind. What happens next might truly surprise you. It feels harmless, even elegant. A gentle pour of red wine in a crystal glass, a quiet toast to another peaceful evening. For decades you've heard it, a little wine is good for the heart. And yes, in moderation, some studies say it can help, but here's the part they often leave out. After age 65, your body doesn't process alcohol the way it used to. The same glass that once soothed you now burdens your heart, your lungs, your brain, especially when consumed before bed. You see, alcohol is a sedative. It relaxes you, yes, but it also relaxes your airway. That's why even a small amount before sleep can make your throat muscles collapse slightly, disturbing your breathing without you ever realizing it. Your oxygen levels drop. Your heart has to work harder just to keep you stable. And over time, that extra strain begins to wear on your system. Howard, a 73-year-old retired accountant, always ended his day with 2 glasses of wine. It helped him sleep, or so he thought. When his doctor noticed irregular heart rhythms and signs of sleep apnea, he ordered a sleep study. The results shocked them both. Every time Howard had alcohol before bed, his breathing paused dozens of times per hour. His oxygen dropped dangerously low, sometimes into ranges where stroke or cardiac arrest becomes a real risk. I had no idea, Howard told me, eyes wide. I thought I was relaxing. I was actually stressing my heart all night long. Now, instead of wine, Howard sips warm chamomile tea. He still relaxes, he still sleeps well, but now he wakes up rested, with a steady heart and a clear mind. So tonight, when you reach for that glass, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me or silently hurting me? Your body has carried you through decades. It deserves gentleness, not strain. And if you truly want to support your sleep and protect your heart, the next food we'll talk about might surprise you even more, because it's something millions consume without a second thought. Even 6 hours before bedtime, it's still doing damage. Let's talk about caffeine. It hides in more than just coffee. A piece of dark chocolate after dinner, a scoop of ice cream with espresso swirl, even that innocent-looking green tea. These small pleasures can quietly keep your heart racing deep into the night. You may not feel it right away. In fact, caffeine is tricky that way. You enjoy it in the moment, but hours later, when you should be resting, your body is still wired. That's because caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning even 6 hours after your last bite or sip, nearly half of it is still in your system. And what does that mean for someone over 65? Your heart rate stays elevated, your blood pressure rises, and most critically, your natural rhythms, those delicate systems that regulate your sleep and recovery, get disrupted. Meredith, a 70-year-old retiree from Washington, never touched coffee at night. But she loved a few squares of dark chocolate in the evening, a small reward after dinner, something sweet while reading a book. Yet every night at 2 a.m., she'd wake with her heart pounding. She felt anxious, restless, sometimes even breathless. It wasn't until her doctor asked about her eating habits that the puzzle pieces came together. The caffeine in her chocolate, though modest, was enough to disturb her nervous system during sleep. I had no idea, she told me, shaking her head. I thought chocolate helped me relax. Turns out, it was the reason I couldn't. Once she swapped it for a caffeine-free herbal tea, everything changed. Her sleep deepened. The midnight racing heart stopped. She started waking up truly rested for the first time in years. So here's the truth. Caffeine isn't just a morning issue. For seniors, it's a full day factor. The earlier you cut it off, the better your body will sleep. And your heart, it'll thank you. As we move forward, there's one more evening habit we need to talk about. This one is golden brown, crispy, and comforting, but it's quietly fueling inflammation while you sleep. Let's take a closer look at what fried foods are really doing to your aging body, especially when eaten just hours before bed. That crispy fried chicken, the golden French fries, the crunchy onion rings, they may bring back memories of comfort, of Sunday dinners, of simpler times, but after age 65, these same foods can quietly wreak havoc on your heart, especially when eaten in the evening. You see, when we consume fried foods, particularly late in the day, our bodies face a surge of unhealthy fats. These fats don't just sit in your stomach. They trigger an inflammatory response that continues long after the last bite. And that inflammation peaks while you're sleeping. Dr. Steven Nissen, chairman of cardiovascular medicine at the Cleveland Clinic, explains it clearly. The lipid surge from fried foods leads to inflammation that's strongest during the overnight hours, just when your body should be healing and restoring. Take Gregory, 69, a retired electrician from Texas, healthy by all outward appearances, no history of heart issues, But one evening, after a dinner of fried chicken and mashed potatoes, he went to bed feeling a little sluggish. At 3 a.m., he suffered a heart attack. Doctors later told him the timing wasn't a coincidence. The fried meal had overloaded his system, triggering a perfect storm in the hours when his body was most vulnerable. "I never imagined dinner could do that to me," he said, still in disbelief. But that's exactly how it happens. Late-night fried foods flood the bloodstream with oxidized fats and raise blood pressure. They raise triglyceride levels and interfere with the body's ability to regulate insulin. It's not just about gaining weight. It's about the pressure these foods put on your heart and blood vessels when they should be resting. So what can you do instead? Try this. If you're craving something savory and warm at night, go for steamed vegetables with olive oil and herbs, or grilled chicken with a side of brown rice. If you want something crispy, air-popped popcorn with no added salt or oil can be a comforting substitute. Your body won't miss the grease, but it will feel the difference in the morning. Let's be clear. The danger isn't in a single fried meal. It's in the pattern, the quiet accumulation of damage night after night. And now, as we approach the final food on this list, we must turn our attention to something that sits silently in every pantry: the packaged snacks. The chips, the crackers, the salted mixes. Convenient, yes, but at what cost? Let's talk about how one handful too many might be spiking your blood pressure while you sleep. It's easy to reach for them, those neatly packaged chips, crackers, pretzels. They're comforting, convenient, and they don't seem dangerous. But after 65, especially in the quiet hours before bed, those innocent handfuls might be quietly raising your blood pressure and your risk of a nighttime health emergency. You see, most packaged snacks are loaded with sodium, and it's not just the kind you can taste. It's hidden in the processing, baked into every bite. For an aging body, especially one already managing blood pressure or heart conditions, that sodium surge before bedtime can tip the scales in the wrong direction. Dr. Wilbert Arono, a leading geriatric cardiologist, puts it plainly. Seniors already experience reduced blood pressure regulation during sleep. When you add a high sodium load from evening snacking, it's like throwing gasoline on a flickering flame. The risk of stroke or a sudden cardiac event rises dramatically. Let me share Deborah's story. She's 75, living in Illinois, and never considered her evening snack a threat. A few crackers, sometimes a handful of chips, it helped her wind down. But during a routine checkup, her doctor suggested overnight blood pressure monitoring. The results were shocking. Between 2 and 4 a.m., her blood pressure would surge to dangerous levels consistent with severe hypertension. She was stunned. "I thought I was being careful," she said. "I don't eat heavy meals at night, but I never realized those little snacks were spiking my blood pressure while I slept." Her doctor made one simple recommendation: swap the packaged snacks for fresh alternatives. Now, Deborah ends her day with cucumber slices, a boiled egg, or a handful of unsalted, air-popped popcorn. Within a week, her overnight blood pressure readings normalized. It's a small change, but for seniors, it's a life-saving one. So ask yourself, what's really sitting in your pantry? And what's it doing to your heart while you sleep? Because when it comes to aging well, the truth is clear. It's not just about what you eat during the day, but what you avoid at night. Let's wrap this up with one powerful reminder. The 8 foods we've explored today: cheese, sugary desserts, processed meats, spicy dishes, alcohol, caffeine, fried meals, and salty snacks may seem harmless on the surface, But for the aging body, especially during those delicate nighttime hours, they can quietly chip away at your heart, your sleep, and your longevity. Now, let's bring it all together. So tonight, before you reach for that slice of cheese or that handful of crackers, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping my heart rest or forcing it to fight? Because the truth is, aging well isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about becoming more aware of how your body responds, especially when it's most vulnerable. And after 65, nighttime becomes one of those crucial windows. Your body is doing delicate repair work while you sleep, balancing hormones, restoring brain cells, and healing your heart tissue. But when it's forced to digest high sodium, high sugar, or high fat foods at the same time, it's like trying to fix a roof in the middle of a storm. What if instead you supported that repair process? What if you gave your heart the quiet, steady environment it needs to heal? What if you made a simple change tonight and woke up tomorrow with more energy, more clarity, and more life in your years? Just imagine the impact. You sleep more peacefully, your blood pressure remains stable, you breathe easier, you wake up refreshed, not groggy or strained. And more importantly, you reduce the risk of becoming another silent statistic like Walter or Thomas or Deborah, people whose lives changed or ended because of something they never even suspected was dangerous. So let's change the story. Let's replace the cheese with a slice of banana, the sugary cereal with a spoon of nut butter, the salty snacks with something fresh and light. Let's give your heart a reason to rest, not race. Because you deserve to wake up tomorrow feeling strong, not lucky. If you found this message helpful, please take a moment to share it with someone you love, a parent, a friend, a neighbor. You never know who's quietly making the same mistake right now. And if you'd like more practical, research-backed tips on how to protect your health after 65, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a life-saving insight. You're not just growing older, you're growing wiser. And with each small change, you're adding more days, more joy, and more strength to your life. Take care of your heart tonight. Sleep well. And I'll see you in the next video.